What's up guys, today we're going to discuss how to check whether or not an array is sorted from the minimum value to the maximum value. First, let's import the module that we will need for input and output functions. Now let's deal with our main function. The problem wants us to create an integer array with 10 elements. Now we're going to tell the user to input 10 elements. Now we are going to create a for loop that repeats 10 times from 0 to 9. It stops at 9 because we put that the I should be less than 10, and it should be 0 to 9 because an array starts with index 0 and stops at its length -1. Now we're going to get the user input and assign it to each individual elements inside the array. Then we are going to pass this array to a function that will check whether or not it is sorted. We want our function to just print true or false, so we don't need to return anything, so we'll make this void. Then we're going to accept an integer array and name it arr. Before we continue with the code, let us first understand the game plan. Consider this array of 10 elements. We have to check the first pair and see if the first element is greater than the second element. In this case our first pair is index 0 and index 1 and is 1 greater than 2. It is not, therefore we don't do anything and continue. The next pair is index 1 and index 2 and same thing, we don't do anything. We continue checking if there are any misplaced number. In this case, there is none, so we will print true. Also remember how many times we actually checked. In this case, we only checked 9 times, which is length -1. Since no element is misplaced, we will print true. Let's consider another example. We check like the last time and we see that so far it seems to be correct. However, we see here that the previous element is actually greater than the next element, meaning that the array is not sorted. If it is not sorted, we will print false. Remember that because we know now that it is not sorted, we don't need to continue checking the other elements, so we will return and stop. Now we are ready to tackle the code. We are going to create a for loop that starts at 0 and then ends before 9, so it ends at 8. Remember earlier that we only checked 9 times, we do the same here as we check from 0 to 8. We will then check whether or not the first element is greater than the next element. The next element is basically index I, the current element, plus 1. If the current element is greater than the next element, it means that it is not sorted and we should print false. Remember that we have to return because we should stop checking anymore. If the function never stopped, it means that there was no misplaced element, meaning that the array was sorted. Therefore, we have to print true. We don't need to return because it is the end of the function already, but we're going to do it anyways. Let's try running the code. Let's enter an already sorted array of elements. Hooray, it works. Now let's try running it with an unsorted array of elements. It says false, which is correct. Let's try checking all test cases. Hooray! Thank you guys for watching. Please like, subscribe and comment topics that you want me to discuss for future videos.